right into the um, session, and I'll start by reading a bio of Joel Innocent. Joel Innocent is a highly skilled 3D artist with over half a decade of experience in the industry. His artistic talent and dedication have led him to collaborate with both local and international brands, where he has left a lasting impression with his innovative 3D creations. Joel's work is a testament to his passion for pushing the boundaries of visual art, and he continues to inspire and captivate audiences with his extraordinary talent. All right, with a round of applause, let's all welcome Joel. Woo-hoo. Okay, Joel, you have the floor now.
Okay, so my mic was turned off. Hello, guys. Good
Yeah,
evening, everyone. You're
good
all
evening,
welcome.
Joel.
Yes. So, actually, I was planning for this, and I was like, okay, how do I go about this? Like, what level of creatives am I um speaking with? And Michael just gave me like, sorry, Victor rather gave me an idea. Like, I can just do something that everyone can catch up with, right? So I'm just gonna make this very free and open as possible because like it's not so like how do I call it. For me, like, I think art is not like a very like I don't really want to take it very serious, right? Just let's just go with the flow and I'll share with my slide. I don't really have something very detailed, but I'll just go with the flow and I'll teach the basics and then I'll be very open to questions and answer. Is that fine?
Yes, please. You can go ahead.
Okay. Let me see if I can share my screen right away. Okay. Let me start option. So if you can see my screen, just let me know.
Yes, we can see
Right
your
here.
screen.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So this is a slide I have here. So just basically basic 3D animation principles. Sorry, I have like an hour, right, for this class here.
You actually have up to 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. All right. So we have here basic animation principles. Yeah. So I don't know. I want to start by asking what we know about 3D animation, like just a general knowledge. And anyone when we see or hear 3D animation, like what comes to mind? Anyone here? You guys hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'll go first.
Okay.
So, personally, I think 3D animation is basically design that goes beyond flat pen and paper kind of view, but actually
Okay.
incorporates the way the natural eyes see things. That is um, length, breadth, width, kind of. I don't know if that's an accurate way to say it.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. I think growing up watching animations and all that, we get curious. I don't know if anybody's like me. I really get curious onto how have these things been created. We used to have this argument when I was like maybe let's say 8 year or 10 year old. We had this argument that like it's probably like toys that has battery in them that they are programmed to just move around. Then there's a camera capturing everything because we actually have no idea on how this works, right? So until we grew up and begin to get a lot of knowledge and information that okay, there's something called computer generated. Even before then, they do animations on paper, sequence of drawing. So I'll just go forward with the slide. So this is just me, Joel Innocent, 3D generalist and a VFX artist. With a decade in experience, half a decade of experience in the industry, basically in Nigeria here, and also work with some clients globally, just how I was being introduced. So I've done works for, I was not able to put my jobs that I've done on the deck. The brand like, what now? I worked with Netflix, done a project with Netflix. I've done a project with Minecraft, Roblox, and some other local brands. And I'm currently working with an agency handling brands like Seven Up, Aquafina, and also work with Pepsi and the likes. Yeah, so uh, this is not really my clean image, but if you want to get to know more about me and some of my jobs, you can just check me out on IG at render.code. You'll see some of my stuff. So let's begin. So what is animation basically? So animation is a simulation of movements created by a series of illustration or photographs displayed in rapid succession. So this is basically like I have this GIF playing here, and we have some balls bouncing and some elements moving. You have this tree shape moving. So it's basically if we have a still image, for example, if you take your phone and take an image of a bottle on a table, right? And you snap it and you move that bottle and take another picture of that same bottle and move it again, like you do that like 3 to 5 times. When you now put those images in sequence to play, you have like the bottle moving in motion, right? So basically, that's what animation is all about. You are creating is you are simulating a movement and it's an illusion, right? So it could be on paper, you can take your pencil and draw on paper, or you could just do that with your computer with 2D or 3D programs. Basically, that's it. So for animations, we have 2D and 3D animations. So 2D animation is the art of creating movements in a two-dimensional space. So this includes characters, creatures, effects. Effects mean visual effects and background. So visual effects are like maybe those explosions, maybe sky replacements, maybe like fake blood, or just other elements that are not real, that are appearing real. Yeah. So 2D animations are. Let me give you an example of the animations. I don't know if we've all watched Tom and Jerry, like the old school classic where we have them flat with lines and all that. Yeah, so that's an example of 2D animation because it has just one view. You can't spin it in a 3D space. And so like this is an example of 2D animation, right? Yeah, we have a ball bouncing on a surface. So we can only see it in one perspective, one dimension. So that's why it's called 2D. So 2D means two dimensional. So basically that 2D, and then you can actually do 2D on pen and paper with drawings, and you can do that on your computer too with softwares. Yeah, which I can list later if anyone is interested to know. So creating movements in a two-dimensional space. This includes characters, creatures, effects, and background, same as 3D. So now the difference between the two is the one is two-dimensional, one is three-dimensional, meaning you can view 3D in a 3D space, just like this. Like we have this emoji with a headphone. You can see it spinning. You can feel it. It has like depth. and it has volume, right? So, but meanwhile, for 2D, you don't know how thick it is or how deep it is. It's just on a flat surface plane. So that's the difference between 2D and 3D. So when someone says, here is a 2D animation and here is a 3D animation, so you have an idea what it is. This is 2D animation and this is 3D animation. 3D animation are more like lifelike and all that. So I think example of 3D animation that I've seen are like Shrek. Yeah, Shrek now the 3D animation. While like Tom and Jerry, I use this one because they're very popular. Tom and Jerry is like 2D animation, like the old classic Tom and Jerry. Yeah. So for animations, we have principles that guides them. So there are like over 12 of them, but I will just go over a few. Yeah, because of time constraints and all that. So the principles is it's I'll just go straight to it. We have the first one here, which is timing and spacing. So for an element to tell a story by movement, it has to move at the right time and at the right space. Meaning, for example, now let me go back to this ball bounce now. This ball is bouncing in the right timing and the right spacing. I'll give an example. It might sound very vague right now, but I'll just go through a program so that I'll just give an example of what I'm talking about so that to make much sense. Yeah, so we have squash and stretch. Like now this ball, as it hits this floor, if you notice, it changes shape like it's compressing. For shapes it's trying to tell you that the ball is very squashy, it's stretchy. It's not like a hard ball. So squash and stretch applies in characters like let's see Tom and Jerry now. When you see it trying to run, it changes shape, it folds itself before it now triggers. And that's another like principle called exaggeration right here. Let me highlight it so you can see. Yeah, exaggeration. So you notice a cartoon character anytime he tries to like make an action, like if you want to hit an object, it will set back for some seconds and then now fire further for the main action. So that's exaggeration. And like arcs, I think let me just go to the program so that I'll just simply explain what this is all about here. We have anticipation, ease in and ease out. So squat and stretch. So I'll just go to my 3D program for better explanation because I don't like explaining with so much text and all that. Yeah, so for the software that I use for this class, I'm going to be using Blender because Blender is it's a free what do you call it now? It's a free 3D program. Let me just type it here. I don't know if you can see my screen. Blender.org. I don't know how many people know about Blender, but when you go to their site, blender.org, it's a free 3D program for your 3D animations and all that. So you can come here and download the software for Mac users or PC users. So this is what I'll be using to teach today. So you just click on this icon here, download, this download button here. So I have just 306 MB, just in case you might want to follow along. Yeah, so meanwhile, the other software like Maya, 3ds Max, well, those ones are not free, so that's why I'm not using those ones. So I'm going to be going over to my program now. Just give me, hold on, I'm coming. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So how many of you have Blender or have heard of the software? And just raise your hands up in the chat or something. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. So Oyemichi has an experience. They probably we have some gurus here hiding. I have to be careful. Okay, that's cool. I see your image here. Okay, so now this is it. So this is Blender application for 3D animations. And the great thing about Blender is it also allows for 2D animation, but I'm not going to cover that. Okay, when you mentioned send a message, you say you just have intentions of learning it. Okay, fine. So it's good that you're here. So basically, this is a software, and it has a lot of tabs and all that. For people who are new to applications like this, might feel overwhelmed with so many tabs, but I'm not going to go through everything. I'll just go through the basic, just the basic. So basically, this is a 3D viewport, and when you hold your middle mouse button, the middle wheel button, and spin around, you'd see I'm going in a 3D space. If you can see my screen, so it's how I tend to see this stuff is like I don't know, like I'm a Christian, right? So I just believe there's this part in the Bible in Genesis when how God created the 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 world now like the earth. It was void. There's nothing in it, and he just started creating. Let there be this. Let there be that, and let there be this. And here we are. We have a beautiful planet. So I see 3D as the same. When you launch in the application, what you get is a void world, like a very vast, empty void. So you are the God creating whatever you need to create, right? Like anything, literally. You don't need to go and buy any props, buy clothes, buy a house, and buy and pay actors to come and act. You basically create everything in here. Yeah, so that's how it is. Everything is dark. So I'm gonna add our first shape. I'll start with a circle. And how do we get a shape? Basically, just come top here, add button, and mesh here, mesh.
Sorry, Joel.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me. What I'm just saying is the your Chrome browser. Are you on the
Yeah.
Are you
are you
serious?
on yeah, can you
Wow, wow,
if
wow.
you
Sorry.
share that then you probably have to like share your entire screen. That's what to
Oh,
like
wow, wow. Okay. Sorry. I thought I was doing something good. Come in. Let me just check it out. Because I'm using like two, three. So I think should I have to stop presenting, right, and start again or something?
yes, most likely just we select the um software you
Okay,
want. Yeah.
okay, okay. 21. How about now?
That, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, but thanks for calling that to my attention. Okay. Okay, yeah. So basically, I was saying like this is a void. If you can see, I'm spinning around in 3D depth, and there's nothing in it. It's vast. It can be as large as you want. So you have the ability to create whatever thing you want here. So everything is just plain blank and all. And you can see we have different tabs top here, from my top left to the top right, and down this way and down this way. So basically, I'll just break it down into four parts. So here is like a 3D viewport where you create and see what you're doing. So here is like an outliner. Your list of items that you're creating is coming in groups. They are here. So here are your modifiers, your settings for your rendering, texturing, and all that. These are the platform. And then down here is like a timeline. So if many of us here are already familiar with video editing and all that, so this is something that you're used to. You have keys and all that, and then this is the play button down here, your play button, you have next frame and jumping to the end point and to the start point. Yeah, so basically, and then this is your navigation buttons for your move, rotation, scale, anchor points, and some annotation tools, ruler, and some other things. So basically, I would create our first shape, like saying let there be sphere now, and then make it easy that you don't have to create from scratch. There are objects already in the 3D application that I can start with basically. So you can just come up here, where you see add. So we have this here mesh, like like I said, I'm not going to go through everything. So I'll just go through what we're doing today. So this mesh, and then we have, so we can see what we have here. Yeah, so basically this is it. So I can add another shape. I'll go back here, add. We have a cube. So now my cube is, it's like it has swallowed my sphere. So how do I move it to see what I'm doing? I'll just go to my move tool right here. I click on it and I have my move gizmo, right? Call it gizmo to move it on any axis I want. So I'm putting to the y axis. So how do I know the y axis? Because right here we have the axis here. We have the green is the y, z is the blue, and x is the red. So I just pull it sideways so you can see. So we have two shapes right here. We have a box and it's fair. So then we can add more objects. There are more objects here I can play with. Let me add the torus, which I like to call donuts, basically. So with all these shapes, you can start creating whatever you start creating. But I think unfortunately, I might not be able to cover modeling in this class. What I'm going to cover, I'm just going to do show you guys how to apply some of the principles of animation on this, and I'm going to use a sphere, these objects to do that. I'll do that right here. So we'll go through it. So within any other questions we have, we can go over it. So this is like a default season head that Dena has. So I'm going to rotate it to say this way. So we'll have different elements, different shapes. So with all these our shapes we have, we can create anything we want, or we could start creating like from a plane, to the plane. We can start and changing the shapes to whatever you want. Like I said, I'm not going to go through modeling. I'm just trying to show you what it looks like. What it looks like, rather. So you can start creating shapes. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just creating like a very, very random stuff. Nothing in mind really. I can extrude, select, and move out to. So basically, you see, so you can see from a flat um, shape, I was able to create like a useless shape. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway, that's just it. So same thing with this too. You can create shape with it. Same thing with this box too. I can come here like this and let me say select my edges. So I know it can be very, very like intimidating, but trust me, it's very simple. So like kind of extruding, trying to show you what is possible. My box, I'm really like I didn't actually even plan what I'm doing. I'm just doing it off on top of my head. So we can see that I'm creating extrude, extrude. Because I just created this shape now out of the box. So that's how you actually work. And let's say I want to even make it, let's say I want to make it round. I could just do stuff like this. Yeah, so basically, this is not what I want to show you guys, but I just want to show you what you can do with this. This is just like the baby steps, right? So I'm going to move straight into what I want to show you, which is the bouncing ball. I'll just put you through everything, right? So I'll just give an example of what I've done here. So this is my outliner. Everything here are in folders. So I'll just hide this eye icon, meaning anything here is, I will just hide. Look at it, it's gone. You see? So these are folders, folders, folders. So I'm hiding this. So I'll open up the one I've done before. So so I have this. Let me move to my trading tab. So if you can see my screen, okay. So I have a ball here. Now you know how I brought the ball in, add, mesh, and sphere, and then I have my backdrop. So I'm going to create all these things right here from scratch. So you see how I do it. And then I have my animations playing here. So this is the bouncing ball. In my rendered view, I'll show you how I render. Can you guys see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah. So this is a rendered view of a bouncing ball. Yeah, I'm coming. Let me switch to a different render. Okay. Okay, so basically, this particular bouncing ball has my timing that I was trying to explain and spacing. So for you to see that now, when I come here to my timeline, we have what we call keys. Like keys, all these points, this dot here, right here, they are representing my timing, which I explained earlier on my deck. Timing is like the spacing. It's trying to tell you that when this ball is up here, when the ball is up here, this is where it's keying the position and rotation of the look of the ball at this point. And when it's at frame 10, you are telling it that the ball is down here. So I'll go over a very simple, very simple and basic one. I will off this and bring this right in here. Someone is asking a question, how do you move your mouse around? Do you use a normal mouse to move around? Okay, yes, I use a normal mouse. So I use my middle, like mouse has a left click and right click, and then there's a scroll button in between. So you hold down that scroll button, and then you hold it and spin around. That's how you move around. I don't know if I answered that question properly. So now let me just bring in my shape to experience how I keyed. Sorry. Yes. This is it. Okay. So this is my shape now. So we're going to move this ball like from here to this point. So we're going to tell the system that okay, my ball is at this point, and I want you to move from here to here at this point. So how do we do that now? It's just basic. So I have my timeline at frame 1. So I'm going to put it here first. This is where I want to start from. I'm going to key it. And how do we key? When you hover around your object, just press I on your keyboard, and then you have these options which have location, scale, and rotation. So this is what I use. I use this option, location, rotation, and scale. So it keys when you click on it, it brings in your yellow dots here. It keys in the data information of where your ball is at that particular time. So if I take my frame to like let's say frame 10, okay, I think I need to hide this. Okay, I'm just gonna create a new collection. Let me name it. Sorry, trial. Yeah, sorry, just hold on. So let me bring my ball again in. This is my sphere. So from this point, I'm trying to tell it that okay, we're going to start moving from here. I'll press my eye on it, and then I'll click on location, rotation, and scale, and then I'll go to like frame 10. Then I'll move the ball to where I want. It could be here, it could be anywhere I want at all. And then I'll press I again. Then I'll press it, key it. So we have two keys on my timeline. So if I scrub through, you see it's going to move. So if I play, you see, it will move to that point. You see. So now, from this point to this point now, that's my spacing. So and it's moving very fast. Let me play it again so I see. So if I want to move very slow, what do I do? The spacing between these two keys, I will just select this key like this and just drag it. Just left click and drag to the point I want. Let's say frame 30, and then I take it back and then I play again. See, it's slower. What if we want to move very slow? We take it further, drag the key, just click on the key and drag it like let's say 100, and play it again. See, it's moving very slow. So that's how it registers the position of your object per time in your 3D space. Meaning you can do this thing to any object, whether character animations that has a full rig and any objects at all that you need to animate. So you move them in space and then you key them as you want. So that's why animation can be very time consuming. So but it can be a very fun process because you are creating and breathing life into inanimate object. So basically, so that's it. So let's go over our bouncing ball. I'll do it from scratch right here. And I'm going to delete everything and start from scratch. So how do you delete? You press X on your keyboard, and then you see delete option here, and then you delete. So I have nothing here in my scene. I'm going to replicate this. I'm going to replicate this curation that I did here. Yes. Sorry, not this. Get this bouncing ball here. So let's just do it from scratch. This is it. Purpose, any questions so far before I move forward? Any question, or should I go ahead? Okay. Okay,
Um,
okay.
it seems like there's color on this ball. Is it just the blender adding the colors, or was
Okay,
there?
good question. Yes, I added the color on the ball and I added color on the background. Let me go over. Let me just zoom out so I can see my whole scene. This is my whole scene. I added this background and I added this ball, and you see here we have light here, like how you have your real life shoot. You have to have light in your scene. So I'll come to that, and then see we have this is my camera. This object here is my camera. So that's where we're seeing the ball from. When you press your numpad 0 on your keyboard, it snaps to your camera view. So I've already set up the camera the way I want. So I'm going to show you guys how I achieve everything to this point, and then even how to render this as an animation. You get? I'm going to do that right now, and it's going to take a very short time. It doesn't take long. So let me just go over it again. So if that's all the question, I'll just move forward. So let me hide this and start on a new collection here, trial. So now let's create our ball, add. There's a shortcut because I like shortcuts, but I'm not going to show you guys. This shortcut here is it mesh, but the shortcut is like this. You hold your Shift A and you have it here. Anything you need, like your lights, your camera, speaker, force field, and all that. So this is mesh, and I'm adding my UV sphere. That's what I'm using. So the key is Shift H. Shift H is the key. If you can't remember that, just come here to add, and the same thing is here. So that's it. So this is my ball. Let me go right to the ball. Yeah. So if you notice, it's having this wireframe boxy effects, and I like to take that away by just right clicking on it, and you see shade smooth. Just click on it, and now it's looking so round and all that. So I'm good to go. So now let me curate my backdrop, right? So how do I do that? I'll add my plane, mesh, add plane. So you see I have a very small plane. So I'm going to scale it to the size I want. And to scale, you use your S mouse, keyboard button. You press S and then you just like drag your mouse to whatever size you want. You get. So if you don't use shortcut, you can just come here. This is scale option here. This scale, and then you can scale at any axis, either X or Y or Z, or you can just scale from middle. Sorry, can be very tricky to do from middle. So I just prefer to just scale using S and just like scale whatever I want, and then I'll just let go. So let me create the backdrop now. So I'm going to edit this, and how to edit your object? You come to here, object mode, come to edit mode. Here's it. So now 3D wireframe is called the wireframe because we have this shape has four corners and there are frames that are holding it together. And how do we see that now? Let me click on this option. You would see, let me click out, and you can see we have these black lines right here. And if I click on it now, it's selected. You see, yeah. So I'm going to click on this particular line. So I'm going to raise this part up to the wall. So I'm going to press E to extrude, and I'm extruding upward. And up is what? Up is Z. So you press your Z and just move it up to your point, and then left click, and then we have this L shape. Let me go back to this my shading view. So we have this here. So I want this part to be seamless. How do I do that? I don't want this sharp crease. So I select this edge, and then I press Control B, and then I just pull my mouse up this way. So we have it. So when you now use your middle mouse wheel button to scroll up and down, it does this to it. This is I'm scrolling up, scrolling down to whatever smoothness you want. Then you now left click on it, and we have this. Now we have our backdrop. So you can now go back to your object mode, and we have this. So we're having these lines which I don't like. Again, right click on it and go to shade smooth. So we have this. Any question? I'm moving forward. Am I too fast? Is it too complicated? Or should you move forward? Okay,
That's a bit fast too. Can you show us again how you got this paper fold?
that's the backdrop here.
Yes.
The backdrop here. Okay. Okay, yeah. So let me just delete it now. And how do I delete? I'll press X on my keyboard, and I have this delete option, and I'll click on it, delete, and it's gone. So how do I add a plane? Shift A, or I'll come here, add a mesh plane. We have this. So what next? It's looking too small. I'll scale it up to the size I want. And how do I scale? Either use this scale option here, or use your S for scale on your keyboard. Just press S, and you have this. So you drag your mouse to whatever size you want. Just like I want here to be like this, and then I'll let's click to accept, and then we have this plane big now. So what we'll do next, we have to edit this thing to our backdrop shape, right? So we go to what we call edit mode. So now we're in object mode, go to edit mode. But meanwhile, make sure you select the plane. Come here to edit mode, and then we have select the edge you want. We now want the side to go upward this way. So we select this side, see, selected, deselect, so it will highlight, turn to white. That's selected. So how do we now take it up? You use your E to extrude, and then you just move your mouse upwards. So you see it's not straight. So I can just press my Z to make it straight, so that even if I move up and down, it's on one axis, making it very straight. So I'll just move it up to the point that I want, and I'll left click, and we have this. So don't forget that we're still in our edit mode here. We have to go back to our object mode when we are done. So now I'm going to make this crease to have this seamless curve. So I'll select this line, and then I would Control B to bevel. Then I'll just like raise my mouse up. Just move your mouse. You don't have to click anything. Just move your mouse. So we can just use your middle mouse wheel button to scroll to the level you want. I think this is okay for me. This is okay for me, and then I'll just like right click, and I have this. So I'll now go back to our object mode, and then we have this. So we have our backdrop. So just that I want it to be smooth, so I'll just like right click on it and press shade smooth, and we have it. So this is our backdrop, and this is our ball. So our ball is inside the backdrop. So I'm just going to move it up a bit to, sorry, select the ball and move it on it. So we have this. So I would like to differentiate the colors so that I'll see what I'm doing, because they are all same colors. So if I can remember, I think around here, random, okay, yeah, this random object. So we have a green backdrop, and we have a like is it, yeah, and that shade of green ball. Meanwhile, this will not show in our render, because if I click on render now, everything is white. So just for the viewport. So now let's go over the animation part of the ball. So how do we make a bouncing ball quickly before our time is over? Yeah, so I'm going to assume the ball is bouncing from up here to the bottom of this backdrop. So I would like to view it from this x-axis. You can see where my mouse is. You click on this place to snap to the front view, and it's very symmetrical so that you not have any angle shape. Let me do it again. This is where I am here. So to see what I'm doing exactly, I'll just go to this place, snap on X. So I'm seeing it like from front view, and I'll not make any mistakes, right? So normally it's advisable to animate with the reference. So, but this is just like a basic, so I'm not going to do that because it will take a long time for that. So I'm zooming in and out of my screen to have what I want. So now I'm going to start with a bouncing ball. So we have the ball on the base of the ground. Let's assume this is our ground level now. So I'm going to take our ball to this level. Let's say we want it here now. It's going to bounce down here, bounce up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So we are going to set our keys on this point. Let's assume we want to start here. So how do you do it again? Like I shared earlier, you press I on your keyboard, and then you have this coming up. So I'll click on location, rotation, and scale. And if you look at down here, you have your keys registered on your timeline. If you use After Effects and Premiere Pro, you find this very, very familiar. So you have this down here. So now let's move to, like, let's say frame 10. Just move your ball down. You use your pointer, this your gizmo, to move it down to your ground level. And then you press your I again, you key it again. So let's take you see, this is it, up, down. So let's take it back up again, frame 20. We'll zoom around this level. Good. Press I, key it. So we have this now. We have this. So it's coming back down again. Bring it down to the ground level. Press I and key it. So if you don't want to be doing this process of pressing I every time, there's what they call auto keyframe. You can just enable it here. This is the icon here. Auto key. Meaning if I move this ball at this point here, to key automatically. Look at it. Instead of pressing I every time, makes your life easier. Bring it down again to this point. This say it keys and self. Up again. So now normally because of the law of gravity and it goes back up, it does not reach this. It drops its height, but it comes down, it goes up. It does not reach a bit, goes down up a bit. So that's how you do. So you get to your last point, faking it because animation is an illusion of motion, right? Gravity, spinning, and look at this. Let me show you what I mean. To this one now. Sorry, not this one. This one hits the ground like it has weight. Compared to this one is floaty, you see. So how do you do that now? We have to go to our animation curve editor to change the um, spline to step. So for those that are familiar with Premiere Pro After Effects animating, it's going to be very, very simple. However, so here we have here animation tab here. We have layout, modeling, sculpt, UV, texture, painting, shading. So I'm going to animation here, and we have our curve showing here. Our key, our impact. This is how it looks like behind the scene. So I'm not very important. So how do we adjust those floatiness? So we are going to just affect our just one axis, which is the z axis. So it's moving on one direction, up and down, up down. So which is just z axis. We are coming here to z location, which is this. So I'm coming from the right channel. Okay. So basically, what I'm doing now is just to um, let me start over. And from frame one, it comes down and goes back up, comes down, goes back up. So if you see the graph, we're having this undulating pattern, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So we're having this curve underneath here. Look at this curve. So the idea is to make it very sharp so that to land very fast. And let me just do for this one so you see what I'm talking about. When I like hover on the keys, I'll right click on it and then I'll go to handle type and then I'll click on vector and it snaps to a V form. It's not U. See the difference now. It bounces faster than this one that is curved. It slows in and slow out. So that's what I'll do to all these U parts. I'll just highlight them, right click, handle type, and vector. So I'll just do for the other ones here. Select them, vector, and to give a more better bounciness. So this is what we have here. So let's go back to our layout here. So we have this. It's way better than the other one that was floaty. Sorry. Okay. So this is so any more questions if I move forward? Any question? Or is it too easy or is it complicated? Hello? Okay, so I guess I'll just move ahead then. Okay, so I'm going to go further to lighting and rendering just to wrap this up. So when I go to my render tab here, this icon here, right here, we have the viewport shading and we have the render shading. So we have here, there's nothing there, everything is just so dark because there's no light and there's no camera, nothing is here. So it's so grayed out and there's no color. So how do we add that? So I'll start by adding my colors and shades to it. So we have our ball. On here, material properties, I click on it. So I'll add a new material to it. So my base with a blue color. Then I'll also click on my backdrop. I'll add a new material to it, new. Let me just add like a red backdrop. So it's not showing here because I'm not in my shading tab. I'll click on this icon to view what I'm doing. This is it. So this is what we have here. Let me do it again. Look at it. Base color we have here. Any color we want. It's changing right here. So it's changing right here. So and then the backdrop. So click on it and come here. We have any color we want right here. So basically that's how to add the basic color material to your bouncing ball and play it have animations. So I'm going to I'm trying to adjust my frame. So we have this. So how do we render now? We have to, or if I go back to my render viewport, it's going to still be dark. You see, it's dark. We have our colors now. The next step is to go forward with lighting up the scene. So in this particular render viewport, I can add my lights. This add, come here to our lights. We have point lights, sun lights, spot and area lights. So I like working with my area lights, clicking on it. See it down here. So I'll just drag it up. So it's very low. So we increase the intensity of the lights by coming down here to lights. This is the power. So we can just put it like, let's say 100, 100 to small, put like 500. So we have this basic lights. So I can add one more lights by going to my lights and add point lights. And we have this. I'll increase the intensity to like 500 too. And you can change the color of your light to whatever color you desire. So we have light in our scene now. So this is not the best light, obviously. I'm just trying to make it very, very simple and basic. So we can move our light to any point we want it to. And also rotate the light to our rotation. Yeah, this is it. So we can add one more light, Shift A light, or area lights, bring it up to rotate it on the x-axis to face the ball. I'm trying to kill this dark shade down here, so I'll increase the intensity to like 500 as well. So I might just change the color as well if I want to. Any color I want, but I'll leave that white. So we have our light here. So now let's add our camera to it. So if we play now, we see that we have this in a 3D space bouncing. Yep, so I'm going to add my camera to the scene, Shift A, camera. So I have this camera right here. I'll bring it up to where I want. So how do you view from the camera? You just come to this point, this icon here. Yeah, sorry, I think I have the camera here. Sorry. Yes, so we have this screen. Okay, so adjust the camera viewport to how we want it to be. Let me see if it's positioned properly. Yeah, it's basically. So we have our 3D object in the scene, we have the light and we have the camera. So the next thing is to render it out as image sequence or as animated object that we've done. So I'll go forward with the rendering. Any question, please? Okay. So I guess no question. So I'll go forward. To render, you come to this render tab. I'm using EV render because it's way faster. But if I use Cycles gives a better quality, it looks better here. But you need more machine power and time to render. So we have the lighting is more accurate with Cycles. But on EV, it need more work to be done. So let's assume I'm using EV to render this. So you come to this tab here, output settings, you come down to your output, you select where you want it to be, create a new folder, and just name it bouncing ball. Bouncing ball. And then you just the name, put it down here, click accept. Yeah, so I'm rendering as PNG sequence. We can render as different other output, AVI, JPEG, RAW, this output, XR, TIF. So we have different render output settings here, PNG, JPEG, and so anyone you want to use. I normally render with PNG. So and that's all. And all you do is come here and click on render animation. So when you click on this, it's going to render. Oh my god, it's rendering all the other layers. I have to hide them. Sorry, I just need to hide those collections. Uh, hide this, hide this too. So render animation. Yeah, and basically that's it. So you see, you can see it has some motion blur in here, and my animation is rendering. And when it's done, I'll have my PNG sequence as animations. Do you have any questions? No. Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, well, with you, looks really good.
Okay, yeah. So we've covered the creating how to add your simple primitives objects in the scene and how to move it with keys and keyframes, and then and how to edit those keys in your graph editor, and then lighting, just basic how to put your light and camera and render output. Yeah. So because like 3D animation is a very very vast um, discipline. So it's a very short time to go all through maybe very beautiful thing. You want to see maybe like um, particle effects, because we have the effect aspect of 3D, we have the motion graphics of 3D, we have the character animation of 3D, and all those things takes quite a lot. So, but with this basic, it's like introducing you to this particular application and how things works, because the same thing that applies there applies to every other software, but just that with their own like wherever it's been placed and how to use them. So it applies across all applications. So I don't know if you have any question.
Guys, let's ask our questions. I think Joel has covered quite a lot. Um, are we saying it's all clear to us already? And there's nothing. Are we even demonstrating on our ends, on our respective ends?
Yeah, do you have anybody following along? Okay, so this is our rendered images. So it's rendered and it's very fast. So because of the method I used. So okay, since before any question coming, I'll just quickly put this into a video file and then we'll just see it straight up right here. So I'm going to open like my video editor and bring this in. I use Premiere Pro. So guys, please ask a question while I bring in the render files and make them as video outputs. And then it's good to go on anywhere. I've posted in status, social media, anything. Just open a new project with this. And sorry, 3D animation, not symbol. Oh, okay. Guys, comment your questions. So I'm going to bring in all the files here. I'm going to import it as image sequence. Click on the first one, image sequence, and then import. So I'll bring in here. So it is a very short clip. So when I play it, we have our video. You see, it's not the world's best bouncing ball. Yeah, but you guys get it. Because I'll take time to be adjusting, and from your end, you can make it better, way better than this. Yeah, so this is just it. So I'm gonna export this out as a video file. You can add the sound, add the text, whatever you need to add, and then I would export it as something for those of you that know how to use editing software. You can use any editing software as you're comfortable with. So I'm gonna export. So we have our video almost ready. Yes. So when I go to my folder, something for here's it. So I have my video here with VLC. So this is it. So we have our animation ready and put it in a loop. So any question, guys?
Can we do this animation on Blender, or do we constantly like have to move it to Premiere Pro?
What do you say? The animation.
Yeah, can it be done like on Blender instead of like bringing it to Premiere
Okay,
Pro?
okay. You mean this to render it as a video output?
Yes.
Oh yes, you can. Like, okay, I think my my favorite. Like, let me give an example now. I know you can see my screen. This is. Let me take this out of the way. This is the output. This part here, PNG sequence. So I think if you use AVI JPEG, it's going to give you a video format. But now the issue with this is that it's not all player that's going to take it, and you can't upload this social media. Do you get? So there's no like H.264. So that's why I usually use PNG sequence. So, but now some other artists use 3M Blender for their video editing because Blender has it. They have somewhere around here where it's decompositing now. Yeah, like people use it for their video editing. So, but I don't do everything inside of Blender. So it's just best to render in PNG. And again, one of the reasons why I would advise rendering in sequence, either PNG or TIF, because just imagine you're rendering a very long animation, then you spend time doing and and your lights, obviously we're in Nigeria and lights to go out anytime and light just goes off. If you're rendering the animation in a video file, right? Trust me, you have to start all over again. But when you're rendering in PNG sequence, it's going to store the data. Let me show you. It's storing it this way. It's storing it as frame 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So let's say you're rendering from 1 to like let's say to 10. You render like to frame 10 and then light goes off now and your system dies. When you come back on, you can start rendering from frame 11. Do you get? So that's the benefit of rendering in sequence. Then you now bring into your editing software and compile together, which is very simple. So that's it. Um, Michael was asking a question. Michael will raise his hand up.
I typed it already. I said the TIF format. When is it better to render in TIF format?
That okay. I think TIFF format it just has more information data stored. It's just like rendering in Let me see if it has it here. It's just like rendering in this EXR. This EXR and TIF,
Okay.
they have similar. Yes, they have like it's like they have a higher range image resolution. Meaning, if you want to like go forward and be color grade, edit, you get it stores in more data, more color data and other informations of your renders for further compositing. You get so if you're doing more advanced stuff. So, but
Okay.
basically, PNG sequence is fine. or just basic renders. Yeah, that's what I use for most of my projects.
And also, is it possible for me to move most of my rendered projects to continue work on, let's say, Photoshop?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like you can. Okay, now let's say you want to render an image, right? Yeah, like let me give you an example of an image render now. Let's say this I want to render like this frame now, as an image. This frame as an image. I click on render here. See render image. So once it's done rendering, we're having this. This is one image now. So we can go here and save it. So it will save as PNG right here to your file. So when you now have that saved PNG now, you can take the Photoshop and do your edit, import it. Because I do that a lot. I do that a lot. Like there's a project that I was doing. I think it's quite confidential. I could have shared, but I have to render here, and trust me, the light that I was working on, it's a character animation project. The light was not appearing the way I wanted it to. Like my red or the blue was just somehow. But I realized that that is left for post production. So I took it to Photoshop and did some tweaks, and it came out properly. Meaning that if I export all my PNG sequence and give it to the editor and he color graded in the software, it's going to come out just the way he wants it to. So that also answers the question that you can also take your pictures to Photoshop and edit them as you want. Use an image, but I'm not sure you can take all the whole sequence to Photoshop as a video to edit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So, any more question, guys?
Guys, today is our last day. This is the best opportunity for you to ask any questions that you have. So fire those questions right now. We have Victor in the house. So even if it's not related to 3D animation, feel free to just throw out those questions now.
Okay. Since you got no question, so I would like to say this is the end of this very, 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 very short and basic intro to 3D and how it all works, from creating from scratch, from empty scene to creating something as basic as a bouncing ball. And I think it's the same way every other project that you have seen, either it's an animated movie, cartoon, television series. That's how it's been created. Like I used to have this idea that creating an animation project can just take one man to create, because I used to feel like I need to learn animation because I want to tell my own story. I want to make people um, like I have this strong idea and I feel like I can do it. But when I got into it, I realized that it's not just a one man thing, because just see how long it takes to force to create just a ball. Now imagine creating like several characters, human like characters, talking, with several scenes, houses, trees, and effects. So it takes a lot of team to put a great work out there, and also time and on time and obviously resources, money is very, very important to push up a project. So that's just how it is basically. So but there's a great promise out there, like that virtual creation is like it's never going to end, because with the invention of AI technology and all that, it just keeps evolving and even makes the work easier. So there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of chances out there to explore in this so let's say tech field now. Yes, and creators that we are. So basically, that's it.
All right. Thank you very much, Joel. Thank you for this session. Seems like we don't have any further questions.
Yeah, I think we don't have any question.
All right. So let's just say a word of prayer and call it a day. Please, let's just give Joel a round of applause and, by extension, all our facilitators that are present or those who have helped us over the past 6 weeks. We'd like to say a big thank you to you, Joel. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Michael. I see you in the chat room. Thank you very much for your time, for your efforts, for sharing your knowledge with us. We pray that God will continue to increase you in your careers and that you continue to go from one level of advancement to the other in Jesus' name. Okay, so let's close this meeting with a prayer. Lord, we thank you for today. Thank you for this session. Thank you for the past 6 weeks. It's been such a journey. We thank you for all that we've learned. Thank you because we're so much better for um, than we were 6 weeks ago. Thank you for the improvements that we've made in our design journey. We pray, oh God, that you continue to bless and increase us, increase our facilitators as well, who have shared from their knowledge with us. They've shared their time and they've made efforts to make prepare for their sessions. We pray that you bless them abundantly in Jesus' name. And we commit the coming weeks, the coming days into your hands. We pray that you help us that as we go forth, that you help us to take every opportunity that we can to practice and to um, make use of the skills that we've acquired in Jesus' name. That this will not just be a process of just gathering information for the sake of gathering information, but we'll actually apply it and would be better, well rounded people in Jesus' name. For in Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. All right.
Thank you,
Thank you all
guys.
for joining. You were saying?
Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you for the
Yo,
opportunity.
oh, thank you. The you should be the one doing the thanking. Thank you very much, Joel. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us. We would still be in touch over the coming days on the group chat. So if you're not on the group chat, we'll also send an email across to. Yes, we'll share the video. Sorry, the video for last week is not up yet. It will be up by this evening or tomorrow morning. And then the one for today will be shared on the group chat as well over the coming days. So please, we'll be sharing further information. The journey has not ended here, but we'll be in touch with you on the group chat over the coming days. So please, let's engage. We'll try to engage you as much as we can. We encourage everyone to reciprocate as well. Um, and that's it. That concludes our 6 week design leverage training. Thank you for going through the journey with us. God bless you and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.